If we just accept that this is entertainment and it's television, there's still a huge force to contend with. I mean, as we've laid out, they have incredible ratings. How then do Democrats work around the reality of having a television show that you have millions of Americans watching that aren't putting forth news, but they're accepting it as news? How then do you work backwards from that reality?
Actually, but you can challenge that, and you can sort of say that this is an inside. This is our issue. I mean, remember,
our issue being our who?
Our issue, media issue, okay. Politics issue, people who are somehow being paid by this. Yes, because there are only 2 million people who watch Fox every night, slightly less than 2 million people. The news networks have greater audiences. Online, I mean, the Huffington Post has a greater audience. So I think that you can kind of step back and say, maybe we've created this beast. That one of the smart things that Roger has done is created a situation in which the Democrats, the liberals, have become his most forceful promotion machine.
I think that a lot has changed since 2009. As Michael has pointed out, you've had a significant number of news organizations and online and digital in particular that have grown, while cable TV really hasn't grown all that much. People have a lot more options now. And so if the question is, how do you get around Fox? It's like saying to a Republican, how do you get around MSNBC? There are a lot of different ways to communicate to people. And I think in the modern world of communication, you use as many platforms as you can productively to speak to as many audiences as you can productively. And if that means leaving Fox out, well, then you leave Fox out. There are certain day parts on Fox that I think it's fine for people to go in and do interviews so where they can get a relatively decent straight shot at talking to viewers. And then, you know what? There are plenty of other ways to talk to people, and we're on one of them right now. 3 or 4 years ago, they did have more of those persuadable middles. If you look at any of the recent research now, you are seeing a growing polarization, and Michael referred to this in terms of cable viewership, especially with MSNBC having aggressively gone after progressives during their evening day parts. The persuadable middle viewers at this point, it's not clear exactly where they're getting their news from, but they're getting it less from Fox than they were 3 or 4 years ago. Having said that, when you're in politics, you always want to try to talk to as many people as you can. And I think that's why you see elected officials going on Fox. And certainly in terms of their correspondence, there's no reason not to talk to them. Most of them are pretty good news people.